Hello and welcome. Right, well, how did we do? We've left one of the fields for next session because I thought we've got to grab all these off this field. We used the BI Industries harvester and we threw it on the floor, and we're going to grab that. We bought peasels. Yeah, let me go and show you because this is a proper. Yeah, let's go down the shot and just show you what we actually did. Let's jump to you. We bought this little beautiful thing here. Yeah, by Peasel. This is one of those mods that in FS25 I thought Peasel had missed a real... Before the AGI pack, this little thing was... And I tried it and I thought, well, I can't get this to work. Because I was trying to grab grass off the ground. Well, it didn't do grass, did it? It only did grains. And I thought, oh, such a shame that he missed out an opportunity to make a groundbreaking mod that really would have been... Let's put that down. So this is not going to be in use for the next session because I'm going to be busy like loading and unloading whilst the biggie is loading into our main trailer. So let's actually go underneath here. Can we do that? Is it big enough, this? I think it is. It's not that taller. No, that's not bad actually. Yeah, so we bought peasels at the very end. Obviously, we're leasing the header. We will in time hopefully afford to buy one, but whether that's in the sales or whether it's brand spanking new, they're 100 odd grand-ish. So yeah, we will do that. I'd like to get the grass sort of done on that bit there so that it doesn't look so messy. But actually, the one thing I'm going to do while I'm thinking about that is paint a bit of grass around that, because that's never going to happen. Where that... let's grab some grass and just make that look a little bit like... So that's always going to look a bit odd otherwise. And then we'll do the grass around it. No, that's all right. Yeah, we'll do the grass all around the rest of it. Might even plough a little bit of that up to make that headland a bit smaller. So yeah, we basically stripped this field with that harvester, and the other field obviously with the BI Industries one. It looks a little odd at the minute because I've like mixed ways of doing things together, and it on a computer you've only got to ever present with any kind of program and present one, and I think it's getting confused and trying to do two things, which is then making it look awful because you've got like white bleb as it's like particles. It'll be particles that are like wrong, and I will in time hopefully, or I've crossed a line that giants don't want crossed, and basically, you know, with the syntax of what I've done, and it can't be fixed. We shall see, because really it should be knocked back to how it should on Redbeat. The thing is, there's a lot of things modders can't do, you know, as in like the game is still the game and made by giants, and it's for us to like find ways to do things, going around, not stepping around the rules, it's not quite the right analogy, but in a way finding out what the limits are of the rules that giants have set. And you can sort of cross lines, which of course I have crossed, but I've only crossed those lines because giants haven't quite finished the game and there's bits missing. So I'm sort of going around the bits that I have got to do to try to actually make that work, and it has sort of worked, but it's still a bit odd. So BI Industries R&D department, they are working on it. They are going to like, yeah, have a right good crack at making that work properly. But really, the other thing is, I'm sure we're all interested. Obviously, we can't see the cat. Well, I don't know. The time-saving stock check sometimes shows you things. Like it... No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't know what's on the ground. So the red beets in storage is 182,953 litres. But obviously, there's all... And we must improve this as well. Not this. Yeah, this is good storage. Yeah, that's what that's in there. But this here is a little bit poor, really. It was original. This is the original. I think, I'm not sure. I think I increased it a little. But I think it's a bit poor, really, for vegetables. I think it needs to be a bit bigger. Because obviously mine is based upon the original Giants model, where it was small and it was a small factory. Well, this is like a storage silo type converted into a factory. So its storage would be quite a bit considerable. Obviously, there's certain elements that are going to be tiny, which still are. Yeah, I'll increase the potatoes. I think that's the only thing. So we've got the soup on. We will obviously get some of the, yeah, the carrots off next, and then obviously the big guy is going to work on this field whilst we grab all of these carrots off here. And then if we have got time, and I think we will, we are going to assist the biggie on this one. And yeah, I'll see if we can get follow me going with the other one, so that we're not like unloading onto the ground and like double handling, even though in real life, as I said last session, earlier this session should I say, or later in this session if you're going to look at the time paradox thing, but yes, later in the session basically I say that yeah, it's one of those things really. It's yeah, I've lost my way in what I was saying. Totally normal thing with myself. It is, yeah. So that's how well we did. I would imagine, obviously, really, that this probably is more than the red beets, because it's a little bit bigger, I should say, about that much, maybe that much extra of a field than that one, I should say. Obviously, if I click on this, it's going to tell us the total field, so you'd half that really, and it pretty is much, so that would be 2.5, 2.65 versus 2.79. So actually I'm wrong. that's actually slightly bigger than that, even though that really to me does not look possible. That looks bigger, but hey ho, I suppose when you're splitting it like that, it might, yeah, but it's almost central actually. I'm not doing a terrible job. If anything, that side's slightly bigger than that one, but yeah, it's not bad though. So we'll get this up next session, and yeah, so trying to think, was anything else happened this session? Did we? I can't remember if I put that down. I think I put that one down last night. I did. Yeah, the generator was put down last night. We've not put anything, any more building or anything like that. Just been harvesting. So yeah, so I'm going to leave it there. All that remains to be said is I hope you enjoy the rest of the session. Right, I've just been doing a little bit of testing. You can sort of tell it to unload here. We could grab them off the ground. I would like to test the one by Piesel, really. So this could actually work. Now, I have actually set this course going, so let's get this going now. And we're going to juggle. I'm going to be the unloader, which to unload two things, like as I said, that's if we can take out the other one, if that one can like be left, then that would be perfect. If we're just looking after the biggie, yeah, the real biggie, yeah, then I think that would be a much better place to be. So I'm going to say my words, because this is going to be a real work session. It really is. So I'm going to see you guys and gals on the other side. Oh, okay, he's not actually moving. Okay, what's that about? Oh, no, this is moving, or she is moving. They are moving. Oh, they are, oh my life, they are moving now. Oh, and they're going to go straight through the tractor, because of course there's nowhere else to go. Oh, and I'm on someone's lawn, my bad. It's amazing when your life's in danger by a huge thing like that, how quickly you'll not even care about going on someone's lawn. It's true. Right. I need to jump in that. Yeah, it won't. The only bad thing is about this is you do have to, yeah, you have to like do this yourself. And I know it's going on it's only a bad thing. I would have set it going the other way, but the workers go, do they? Can you tell them to go the other way? I don't think you can. I'm sure it's, yeah, it's very simplistic. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to go either. It is very good. This is the best I've ever seen Giants do. What do you know? Oh, you're just reversing. Yeah, this is. I would ultimately. It's still not perfect, but us humans are not perfect, so it's not going to be. It does look hard. I'm going to have to try and see if there's anything I can do about that. I think it's because it was probably only supposed to have. Yeah, I haven't changed anything that I'm aware of, but it may be that I'm Why are you faffing around? What's this about? Why would you do that? Mind you, they are like that, aren't they? Yeah. It's a shit, and it's obviously the behaviour I wanted was to unload itself, but that's not a possibility, unfortunately. I think we're going to do this ourselves. I'm going to see you guys and gals on the other side. I think I'm going to leave this last field and we're going to do that on another complete session, because in a way there's a lot of pickup to do. Obviously, I always find things like this really quite interesting, where you like, in real life, quite frequently, sugar beet is dumped on the ground. I'm not sure about carrots, I've never seen them done, but sugar beet I've seen done quite a lot, and that is frequently, and it also it often has like yards where, obviously loading yards where they'll like literally load them all up, but obviously there's a lot of double handling and triple handling goes on with on the field crops like this, where they do lift them and then they stick them into a yard and then they move them into a lorry again. So although we often say, oh, we don't like to double handle, in real life it really is done like that. So you don't just take it straight off to the sugar mill or wherever it goes to. I presume it is something like that. I'm quite pleased with this, apart from the, obviously, I know, well, I don't know what I've done. The thing is, what I did do was tried to make this into quite a few machines, so it may be that the different things are clashing, because I've obviously tried to make potatoes work and it's not so far working, because again I'll have the syntax wrong. I know what it is, oh yeah, I mean there is no real horn topper in the game really. Well, there is, but it's not really, it's more of an animation than a state, so it's sort of a bit of a trick. It's not bad. We were on par with the big harvester. Of course he's got a smaller header, but he unloads properly all of the time, so it's not like a, obviously there's bits of cleanup we've got to do, because obviously again as I got into it I thought, oh, you're leaving a right mess, you know, like, and I thought you're gonna need to like put these and start to put them into pools. But obviously the first ones I did, there's like sugar beet, that's not true, there's carrots around on the floor that still need harvesting, but of course we're going to shift that out of the way. No, let's go and assist. We did always say that we were going to assist. So this last field we're going to do the two of us basically. Just be careful, I'm trying not to go on that lawn, even though the red beets driver in the he or she was about to take the house out, so I thought I'd better intervene. It wasn't really advisable, so to allow that to happen. I thought I'd intercede on the on behalf of the house owner before a tragedy struck. Oh dear, right, smashing. So yeah, I thought it's true. It's quite. Yeah, I did try it, but again, they're not used to having lumps on the field, even if it is done like that in real life. So it did cause a bit of mayhem. So, oh no, you don't have to unload it. It does know about trailer. Yeah, so I will try and work on this. Whether you have to have different models with this one, or whether I just need to remove some of the models I've tried to do with the potatoes, which is not working at the minute anyway. Now then, let's just leave this bit closer to here, because this is gonna, in fact, he's gonna finish thinking about how they work. He's gonna go right to the end, and then it's gonna say, oh, I need unloading. We did very well. I mean, obviously there's an awful lot of carrots on the floor. I mean, literally, you know, an entire field's worth, so that's gonna take some that's what I thought. I thought we could shift the, that's true, actually. I'm going to be out of action on that one. So I can't be doing that one. I'm going to be literally leaving the big harvester and this, and we'll grab the other red rock, and we'll get those off, and I will grab one of Peasel's. I think I'm going to buy it because I'm sure it'll be handy for. It still seems more sensible to me, really, to lease to begin with, even though it's cheap, because you don't know if it's going to work. Even though, I don't know that it's going to work. Charging up. Standard, that's a ground pickup. Let's go for the biggie. Yeah. And design colour, what does that mean? Oh, the top, the hopper. And rim colour. Actually, I like silver. And blue, I don't think suits it. I think we'll do black again for that. Yeah, that looks good to me. We're gonna go out on a limb. Yeah, it is true what I was saying last session. That is in FS. Leasing costs have just been hit for the header. Only just, isn't that amazing? We've just gone over the hour. Well, we need it again anyway, so I'm not worried. Yeah. Yeah, we'll have a look how well we did. It's quite phenomenal. In fact, no, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say my goodbyes, and I shall put this at the front, as is my want recently, so that you don't have to watch the entire work session. Yeah, obviously I've always known that the work sessions, I always have wished to prove the fact that I did the work that I said I was going to do. And obviously, I'd still show the work sessions, but you don't need to watch them. What I mean is, a lot of people weren't anyway. They were just watching, sort of skipping through and watching bits and bobs. And I thought, well, people are busy. I thought, if that is the way it's going to be done, let's just make a front that actually shows what we actually did and, you know, like, guide that. And then the rest of the work session, if people haven't got time. I know some people do watch it all, but then others don't. They've not got time. So if that is the case, then why not work with them? So that is exactly what we did. And yeah, so I'm going to say my goodbyes, and then we'll see what we did. So yeah, all that remains to be said is thank you very much for watching. Truly do hope you're going to stick with me on this journey. And I'm going to say goodbye for now.